Well, good morning to you. A 1-1 draw on Saturday against Bath City, of course. You've been in very early this morning talking it over. What's your thoughts now you've had time to think about it over the weekend?
Mickey watched the DVD of the game. I've sort of got quite a reflective memory. So, if you analyse the game, I thought we had four chances, four really sort of simplistic chances. We had two one-on-ones and two headers from about 6 yards out to nail the game, if I'm honest. Saying that, I thought, like I say, my feelings don't change. I thought we'd become a little bit erratic near the end of the game and could have lost the game through being a little bit erratic and losing our shape and wanting to try and go and win the game, whereas we've got to be a little bit mentally stronger and just stick to what we're good at and not get carried away with hype and pressure, So looking at it, we're coming up we're 3 games away from the halfway point. We've been here early this morning. We've lost 1 game per month since the start of the season. We've only lost 4 games all season in the league. I think there's only 3 teams that have lost less games than us. It's just the last couple of draws. I think we tend to be drawing some of the games that we maybe should have won. But in terms of Saturday, it's you never know. It might be a good point. It might be a bad point come the end of the season. We'll never know.
You mentioned over the weekend about pressure and mindset being a little bit of a burden to you at the moment. As a manager, how do you deal with that? How do you get rid of it with the game coming up on Tuesday night?
I want the lads to put a smile on the face. I'm sick of coming in the dressing room and lads, the lads tend to be sort of worrying about performances and, the expectation. This group of players, like I say, are a really honest group of players, and I've just reeled off some stats to you. I get the funny feeling, people think we're having a bad season at the minute. We've lost 1 game per month. We're going into December, only lost 4 games all season. And it's just the draw scenario, the draw column, that's getting a little bit too, that's getting a little bit out of hand. I'm saying that, the last 2 games have really just, made it look a little bit worse than it is. But, you look at our goals against columns, one of the better ones. We could do with improving on the goals for column. But that's not just down to Matty Green. We need to be scoring goals from other parts of the field. And if you're analytical of all our games this season, especially the ones we've lost and withdrew, we've had chances to kill games. We've had good chances, and once again, I don't want to. This is not heaping more pressure on Matt Green. Matt Green's been absolutely fantastic for us, but we need to be scoring more goals from different parts of the field. We're still in the pack. Statistics still say that. We're coming to the halfway mark. On 32 points. I think we're 3 games away now from the halfway mark, maybe 4. If we go into the halfway mark on in and around sort of 40 points, that's not a bad toll. So I want to take the pressure. I'm saying the pressure off the lads. There shouldn't be any pressure on the lads. And I mean this sincerely. That when I speak to a lot of people, a lot of other clubs. They think we're having a good season up to yet. And I think there'll be a lot of clubs that have changed places with us. So, I just want to make sure that the expectation of this club doesn't get to the lads and we start becoming consistently erratic. We need to be strong-minded and we need to start getting back to enjoying our football.
Is that something which boils down to structure and organisation of things within the side?
No, you can't. No, but when I spoke about structure and organisation, if you've got an erratic mind, you'll have erratic structure. By that I mean is that if the pressures, if you feel the pressures on to go above and beyond what you're doing, and sometimes you lose sight of the fact of your game plan, and. Like I say, if we come into the Christmas period, we're on 32 points now. If we can get, from the next 3 or 4 games, if we can get 6 to 8 points, and go into the Christmas period on 40 points, that's an absolutely magnificent total for half a season. We're only 21 points from, let's put it this way, the club, since they've been in the conference, has never achieved higher than 62 points. So we're only 22 points away maximum from where the club's finished in the last previous 3 seasons. So, you know, it's going to be tough. You like saying that, you know, what I want us to get back to doing is stop being so blasé about where we go, who we're playing, and get back to earning the right to win a football match. You know, like I said, there's been a lot of talk of we should be doing this, we should be doing that. It doesn't happen in this league, it doesn't happen in football. We have to earn the right to win football matches, and you know, as soon as we get back to doing that and stop thinking too much about the game and scenarios, then we'll become we'll get back to being the outfit that we were.
You're taking the positives this morning and a couple of more fears. Alan Marrett's performances over the last couple of games, and of course Aman Verma on Saturday making his debut. Pleased with the pair of them?
Yeah, can I just go back? You know, I wasn't talking about positives. You know, I'm not trying to what I'm not trying to do is put a slant on our season, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tell the season as I see it, and how the football club see it. You know, like I say, we've just gone through our worst run of the season. You know, we've lost 1 game and drew 2. You know, which is an absolute catastrophe, isn't it? You know, what I want to do is these boys have worked extremely hard all season, and you know, I want to get them back to believing and understanding that they haven't done much wrong. You know, we've had a minor blip, and that's it. You know, if the lads can take that on board and to start realising there's a lot of potential here, then we'll be okay. But going back to your question, I thought Mazza's been consistently good all season. He's one of the better keepers at this level of football, and I think Aman, to say it's the first time, you know, in a while he's played in central midfield. I think we brought into the club an outstanding prospect. You know, another young player that, if given the chance, will become a very, very good player at this level of football, and potentially, and I say potentially, a championship winning player at this level. You know, he's a young kid, bags of ability. He needs schooling, he needs looking after, and he needs support more than anything. So, you know, I think once again we brought in a very good player to this football club. Looking
ahead tomorrow night, then of course you'll have your captain Adam Murray back from suspension. Will he go straight in alongside Aman?
He might do, yeah. You know, depending on how he feels. You know, we were on the pitch this morning. We're going to work on 1 or 2 things, as we always do. You know, Adam Murray's been absolutely magnificent for us this season. You know, and he's one of our better players. And you know, to win football matches, you need your better players playing. But saying that, like I say, Verms did well. I thought Bowley did well Saturday. But you know, these other players, I think, that are chomping at the bit to try and get in the side at the minute, and we need to utilise them all.
And going to finish on something away from us, of course. The footballing world was rocked yesterday with the sad passing of Gary Speed. What's your thoughts on it, and what's your memories of Gary?
Well, Gary, you know, I think I've heard the quotes from everyone in football. You know, an absolute true gentleman. You know, I never played against him, you know, as a player, but you know, everything he stood for was positive about the game. At this time, you know, you just, the heart goes out to his family, you know, and you wonder what must have been going off, you know, in his mind to, you know, to do such a thing. But you know, it's just an absolute loss to football and to society in general, because he came across, and you know, in circles he was spoken about as being a very, very outstanding man. So absolute loss to society and football.
Thanks, Paul.
Does something like that kind of, you know, you talk about the pressure and that kind of thing at Bath, but does something like that kind of put it in perspective a bit for you?
It does, Matt. You know,
yeah.
You know. I mean, I listened to it yesterday. It came on the radio yesterday afternoon, and sometimes you can. I think, especially in this game, you can push a lot of things to one side.
Yeah.
And you know, for the chase.
Yeah.
And it does actually. You know, it's. You know, when you sum it up, you know, this is a game of football.
Yeah.
I know people say it's your job, but
yeah.
you know, in every walk of life, we all go to work. Whether you work in an office, you know, whether you're out in Afghanistan,
Yeah.
you know, with the army, you know, this is just a job at the end of the day. And you know, I've always said that, you know, if certain things affected my sort of home life, family life, things like, you know, if maybe, you know, someone got ill, you hope that, touch wood, that, you know, your children are healthy that this is just a job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's you know, I'm probably lucky enough to actually understand that. Some people do take it,
Yeah.
you know, take this job literally and would put their life on the line, where I just think you know, it's never one of these scenarios where, you know, you'd risk your life or your health for it, because there's other things that are so much more important.
Yeah.
And I think it does strip things down in a way, and realise how futile really some of the things that we chase.
Yeah.
That's just really what they are. They're futile and not really important in the greater scheme of things.
No.
So yeah, you know, it's it does actually, things like this just make you stand still and really think holistically, rather than, you know, being a little bit narrow-minded and just
Yeah.
chasing a goal.
Yeah. Yeah.